It's always a process. Everything I'm talking about is a process. Some people can do this more quickly than others. Some people could take a lifetime and not get it done in this life, but it ultimately depends partly on how much effort you put on it. How much effort you put into the information and changing yourself. It's all about changing yourself. Okay, so arguing and defensiveness, abusive to self and others, being reactive rather than active. Okay, those are all blockages, obviously. So arguing, we know, is a control drama. Defensiveness is getting caught in a control drama. Being abusive is a control drama. Well, we know that those are blocks to moving positive. Okay, polarity of needs. This one is powerful. Needs, wants, and desires. Okay? And the basic is the concept of what is really needed. I mean, what are our basic needs? Food, clothing, and shelter, right? Okay, so what happens, what does it mean when you say, I need a new car? Well, it's not food, clothing, or shelter, but it's something you would like in your life. However, anything that you think you need, you're going to try to control. Just think of the word need. I need something. You know, you can just tell that if you think you need it, you're going to try to make it happen. Okay, so this one is negative. Desire is positive. Think about the word. If you desire something, no force there, right? You're saying, basically, you're saying, if I desire it, if it happens, it happens. Don't need it. Okay, so desire is positive. Wants can go either way. All right? Think about what you might want. You might want world peace. Sounds pretty positive to me, doesn't it? Or you may want a new car. Okay, material possession, service to self, really not that positive.
So it's a neutral?
No, it can go either way. It's never neutral. It's either positive or negative, depending on what you think you want. Okay, now, what this is about reprogramming now, all of this is about reprogramming and understanding a way to clear out the things that we've been taught. Okay? So, whenever you catch somebody saying they need or want something, I mean, when I hear it, I know exactly where they're at consciously. Okay? Now, I don't catch myself saying I need anything anymore, but if I do, I automatically switch it to desire. Reprogramming. Okay, as we're talking about. Reprogramming your energy so that makes this transition easier. And part of that is paying attention to what you think and what you say and what those people around you are thinking and saying. Because after all, you manifested them. Now sometimes you manifest somebody because you're not seeing something within yourself and all of a sudden you see it in them. Okay, and you're like, oh my goodness, look what they just said. Or look what they just did. And then you realize someday, oh, you know, I was doing the same thing. Okay, that happens a lot. That's one of the reasons people are in our lives, to help us reflect on who we are and where we are on this chart. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, learning from every experience. You have opportunities to grow at every minute if you take those opportunities. And these are the kinds of tools that will help you. And again, if you see somebody that's need, and you don't need them in your life, okay, you have a choice. You can say, okay, well, I'm going to hang out with different people. Now, there may be some connection that you can't just sever by doing that. You may have to allow them to demanifest naturally, or in some cases, if they're, you know, not a very well-known friend of yours, you know, maybe you just walk a different path and they walk a different path, and that's okay too. You will know if you try to walk away from somebody that's in your life and they're not supposed to be out of your life yet, they will stay there until you demanifest them the positive path. So you can't run away from somebody that's supposed to be there for a lesson for you. So this, again, powerful. That's good stuff. It's not that mind-altering, but it's good stuff. Okay, the subconscious and conscious minds. All right, more blocks. Okay, the subconscious mind holds our pain, trauma, memory, knowledge, intent, instinct, and experience. It's past programming in our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is where we reason, make decisions, choices, rational thinking. It's in the present state. Now what happens is all this information comes up from your subconscious mind, and we process it in our conscious mind. So when you have a thought, and it's got to do with a past experience or some pain you've had, or anything to do with the past, it's coming out of the subconscious mind, it's coming into your conscious mind so you can work on it. And what do most people do? Shut it off. Okay, now what happens is we have a conflict of intentions between the conscious and subconscious minds. Your subconscious mind is dealing with all the things you've gone through in your entire life, and all the pains and all the struggles and all the programming, and your conscious mind is trying to stay over here. Because most people want to stay in, and they think they're positive and they think they're really doing good. So here's the conflict. Okay, and it's battling all the time until you clear out the subconscious mind. And the way you clear out the subconscious mind is through understanding what you're looking at, or what you're dealing with, and then you get the growth and the healing, which then makes it go away. So you don't have the conflict anymore. All right, now, to do that, the subconscious mind, basically, from the way people have been trained to suppress all of their pains and angers, and because they haven't been given tools to deal with them, so the subconscious mind becomes a volcano. All right, and it just keeps building up. And just like the song, The Wall, in Pink Floyd, we build a wall around it to protect ourselves. Okay, and every once in a while that wall springs a leak, and you know it when it does. You're like, I don't like that thought, I don't like that feeling, and then you patch up the wall. You get out the spackle and you quickly get that closed. All right, until you're ready to deal with it, that wall stays up. Now, some people go their whole lives and aren't ready to deal with that information that comes through their subconscious into their conscious. Now, I'm giving you the tools so you'll be able to deal with it. Okay, and then that'll tear down the wall, and what we're trying to do is make the conscious and subconscious mind not have any conflicts so that they're harmonized, more balanced. Okay, we're talking about chakra balance, we're talking about energy balance, we're talking about all sorts of levels of balance. This one is the mind, the conscious mind balance. And without conflicts, conflicts is here. I mean, you're trying to control that information in your subconscious mind. You're trying to keep it there, you're trying not to let it out because you don't know how to deal with it. Okay, so breaking down the wall between the subconscious and conscious mind is a process. If you don't start tearing down that wall, at some point the volcano can overflow and results in nervous breakdowns, emotional outbursts, closing down, shutting out the world. You've heard of people going into states of consciousness by which they can't be brought out, and they end up in hospitals or institutions because they shut down. Very likely could be something along these lines. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that it happened all in this life. It could have carried something over, but usually it's some, you've heard of it, it's some traumatic experience put people in a state of mind that they can no longer function in the real world. Okay, they weren't ready to handle that information, whether it be stored or whether it was a new experience. Okay, chakras. Okay, so you also close down your chakras based on the information in your subconscious mind, and obviously it can result in long-term psychosis, mental and physical ailments. Yeah, if you're holding on to trauma, guess what? You're traumatizing your whole body, not just your mind. Your physical is taking on all that consciousness somewhere.